Hello students, in this video I would be discussing the indirect tax part of December 2022 exams, that is the question paper. Whatever I would be discussing is as per the provisions applicable for June 2023 exams, guys. So the question paper is December 2022, but if there is any changes or amendment, accordingly I will consider. Also, I have prepared a reference material where I have taken a contents from my regular study material for a selected question, only for few questions, and I have placed it here so that you guys will have more clarity. So with this, we'll start discussion, guys. So straight away, I'm going to part 2. We're already done with part 1. Fine, guys. We'll start with which out of the following option is not correct. See, sometimes please be careful, they will ask what is correct, sometimes they will ask what is not correct, so please be careful while you are reading the question. Answer relating to GST Council. Okay, what is it? The GST Council meets from time to time to revise GST rates for various products. Yes, actually any decisions with respect to GST will be taken by GST Council and they will recommend it to the government. So finally the government will notify it. Yes, this is correct. Then GST Council is chaired by Union Finance Minister. The chairperson of GST Council is Union Finance Minister. Yes, correct. Then the quorum of GST Council should be 3/4 of the total members. Actually, it is 1/2. It is 1/2, the quorum. The last one, GST Council decides the goods and service which are exempt from GST. Any decisions with respect to GST, including exemption, will be taken by GST Council. So the correct answer means what is not correct is C, guys. Clear? So here also in my regular study material, I have given Article 279A, which talks about GST Council. There you can see Union Finance Minister is the chairperson. Also, what is the quorum for the GST Council meeting is 1/2, guys. 1/2 and not 3/4. Okay. Chalo. GST on petroleum crude, ice, diesel, motor spirit, that is commonly known as petrol, natural gas and aviation turbine fuel is levied but exempt? No. Is not levied at all? No. Will be levied from the date to be notified on the recommendation of GST Council. This is correct, guys. See, as per section 9, GST is not levied on few selected products. See, as per section 9, subsection 1, on alcoholic liquor for human consumption, it is completely outside GST. It cannot be brought into GST even in the future. But as per subsection 2, 5 petroleum products have been kept outside the GST. Any day, these products can be brought under GST as per the decisions taken by GST Council, guys. So the correct answer here is C. Then coming to the third one. XYZ Limited, manufacturer of goods, opted for composition scheme. So manufacturer means 10(1). For financial year 21-22, it supplied taxable goods worth 70 lakh and exempted goods of 10 lakh in a financial year 21-22. The GST liability of XYZ Limited would be, see, if you are a man, and what they have asked, please be careful. GST liability means total. Okay. Now he is a manufacturer. What is the composition rate applicable for the manufacturer as per section 10? Subsection 1, 1%. 1% of which turnover? Total turnover. Very important. Here, what is the total turnover? 70 plus 10 lakh. Whereas for a trader, it is taxable turnover. Whereas for manufacturer, it is total turnover, guys. So, how much into 1%? 80 lakh into 1%, guys, which comes to 80,000. Which comes to 80,000. Please be careful. There can be some twist and turn in the question. For example, here they have asked GST liability. If they had asked you CGST liability, then the question answer would have been 0.5% of 80 lakh. If they had asked SGST liability, then what would have been the answer? 0.5% of 80 lakh. And instead of manufacturer, if it was trader of goods, then you would have applied 1% on which figure? Taxable turnover. So accordingly, the question can be changed, guys. See, same to same question may not come to your exams or for your particular attempt. So please be careful with all the small things. So this is what is given in section 10. You can observe. For a manufacturer, what is the rate? 0.5, 0.5, whereas the total rate is 1% of the turnover. And here turnover means total turnover. I have also given the note below that in my regular study material. All these are the contents which I have picked from the regular steady material, guys. Turnover in case of traders has been defined as turnover of taxable supply, whereas for others it is 1% of total turnover. 1% of total turnover, guys. Yeah, chalo, we'll move ahead. As per Schedule 2 of CGST Act 2017, renting of immobile property for residential purposes. See, totally there are 3 schedules. Schedule 1 talks about with deemed supply, that is when activities or transaction which is deemed to be supply even without consideration. There are 4 activities covered here. Then coming to Schedule 2, which talks about whether the supply is supply of goods or supply of services. And Schedule 3 is about negative list, which is not covered under GST. Okay, so renting of immobile property. Come on, guys, what is it? I'm just giving my right in the property. I'm not selling, so I'm not giving the title. In that case, it is supply of services. It is purely supply of services. Next, as per section 2 clause 30 of which talks about composition supply, it defines composition supply. Which out of the following supply is constituted as composite supply? See, please be careful with some keywords. 2 clause 30 defines composite supply. It tells when 2 or more goods have been supplied for a single price in conjunction with each other, that is together for a single price, but they are naturally bundled. One of them is a principal supply. Principal supply means what? Which has a predominant position. Because of that only the other things have been supplied. Okay, chalo, we will see one by one. Package of canned foods such as burger, chocolate, sweet, cake, etc. It is not a composite supply, it is a mixed supply because they are not naturally bundled. Then a 5-star hotel provides 4 days and 3 nights package with breakfast. See here, accommodation with breakfast they are providing, and most of the hotels provide this, guys. And see, sir, what is naturally bundled? They are not defined in the law. What is naturally bundled means when majority of the customers are expecting that the goods to be purchased together or services to be taken together, we consider them as naturally bundled. So is it naturally bundled here, sir? Yes, guys, because when accommodation is provided, majority of the hotels or restaurants or resorts will provide along with the breakfast, and some of them will provide 3 times food also, but here they are given along with breakfast. Okay, let us see the other option also and then decide. Combo packs of tie, watch, wallet, pen bundle as a kit and supplied for a single price. Even these products can be sold separately. So are they naturally bundled? No. And hence it will be a mixed supply. Then rent deed executed for renting of 2 different floors of building, one for residential and another for commercial purpose. Here also you can let out separately, charge rent separately. 2 different floor you are letting for 2 different purpose. So are they naturally bundled? No. So is it a composite supply? No, they are mixed supply. So out of the given thing, which is a composite supply means it is B, guys. It is B. That is accommodation along with breakfast. Yeah, next 56th. A registered person can claim the benefit of composition scheme for service supplied under section 10(2)(a), that is for service suppliers it is available, of CGST Act read with notification number 2/2019, provided his aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year must not exceed how much? 50 lakh. So please be careful here also. See, I am just giving the more clarification or more explanation so that you guys will not get confused in the exam if the questions are changed. See here what they have asked, what is the turnover limit applicable for 10(2)(a) scheme? They have given also the option, you can see 150 lakh and 75 lakhs, which is the turnover limit for 10(1) composition scheme. It is actually 1.5 crore, but for some selected state it is 75 lakh. Agree? Whereas for 10(2)(a it is 50 lakh irrespective of the state, guys. There is no separate limit for special states. Okay, next. Priyanka, a registered dealer under the composition scheme of goods and service tax, wants to withdraw. Okay. Withdraw from composition scheme for financial year 21-22. She should file the application in form. First of all, once a person has opted for composition scheme, can he or she withdraw from composition scheme in between the year? Yes, they can do it. That can be for 2 reasons. If you have violated any conditions given under section 10, then you will be thrown out of the composition scheme. You have to file GST CMP 04, or you yourself want to go out of composition scheme because sir I want to claim ITC because under composition scheme ITC is not available, agree, or you want to collect tax from your customers, then in that case you are telling no I will go out of composition scheme. Can you do that? Yes, you can do it, but within 7 days you have to file GST CMP 08 telling I wish to go out of composition scheme and pay tax as per section 9 at normal rate. Yeah, this is CMP 04. Then GST is payable in respect of services rendered to an employer by an employee on. See, first of all, employment service is covered under Schedule 3 negative list, which is not at all covered under GST. But here the question is GST is payable in respect of services rendered to an employer by employee on regular basis in the course of employment. No, because this is covered in negative list, Schedule 3. Contract basis, not in the course of employment. Is it taxable? Yes, because Schedule 3 clearly tells employment service or services given by employee to the employer in the course of employment. And here they are clearly telling contract basis, not in the course of employment. Will it be covered in Schedule 3? No. So it will be covered under GST, guys. It will be covered under GST. You can observe, I will just show. So this CMP 04 also I mentioned here. Yeah. So this is negative list. Only I have taken one part which is related to employment. Services by an employee to employer in the course of his employment. If it is on contract basis which is not in the course of employment, will it be covered under negative list? No. Hence, GST will be applicable on the same. Okay. Then going to next question. The relief of not paying GST at the time of receipt of advance under forward charges is available in case of which? Supply of goods. See, for goods, time of supply under forward charge means earlier of 2 dates. The actual date of issuing the invoice or the due date of issuing the invoice. Whereas date of receipt of payment has been removed. So it is not there, guys. So for the goods under forward charge, what is the time of supply? Earlier of 2 dates. Date of issue of invoice or due date of issue of invoice. So if any advance is received for the goods to be supplied in future, should the supplier pay tax at the time of receipt of advance? No. When should he pay tax? Only when he actually supply the goods and issue invoice, guys. So for which is this? Supply of goods. Whereas for services, it is not like that. Because see, for services, what is the time of supply means? If the invoice is issued within the due date, then the date of issue of invoice or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. Sir, what if the invoice is not issued within the due date? Then the date of provision of service or completion of service or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. So for services, if you have received any advance, the date of receipt of payment will be earlier and you will end up paying tax on it. So only for goods, advance is not taxable, guys. You can see it comes under section 12 subsection 2. So date of receipt of payment has been removed, which I have clearly given in my regular study material. So now for goods, it is only date of issue of invoice or due date of issue of invoice. Hence, the advance will not be taxable. You can see here. Hence, GST is not applicable on receipt of advance against supply of goods. That doesn't mean that you will not at all pay GST. Anta. In the future, when you actually supply the goods and issue invoice, you will end up paying tax on it. Only it will be postponed to future. That's all. 60th. Domino's Limited sold pizza voucher worth 5,000. Pizza voucher, guys, worth 5,000 to its customer on 10th August 2021. Now, so as it is voucher, you have to apply subsection 4. Just tell me, is supply identifiable at the time of supply? Come on. Yes, sir. Because you know that this voucher can be used only to purchase pizza. Where? In Domino's. This voucher is not convertible into cash and only usable at Domino's Pizza outlet within 1 year. Okay. Customer redeems 3,500 of this voucher on 14th February, special day, and balance 1,500 on 31st March 2022 and at Domino's outlet. The time of supply in this case would be, come on guys, with respect to voucher, section 12 subsection 4, as it is a goods, it will tell time of supply. If supply is identifiable at the time of issue of voucher, then the date of issue of voucher. Is it identifiable here? Yes, because voucher can be used only, or it can be redeemed only to buy pizza. Where? At Domino's. So it is clearly identifiable. So what is the time of supply? 10th August, guys. 10th August for entire 5000. For entire 5000, it is 10th August. If supply was not identifiable at the time of issue of voucher, then it will be date of redemption of voucher. But here that is not the scenario. Yeah. Indigo Airlines sells various products of packed food, chocolate, etc. to its passenger on board during the flights. The flight originates from Delhi, halts at Mumbai, and finally lands in Chennai. So starts from Delhi, halts at Mumbai, and destination is Chennai. What would be the place of supply of such product as per section 10 of IGST Act, which is with respect to place of supply provision they are asking. So in case of, if there is any goods which is supplied on board a conveyance, guys, what will be the place of supply? Location where the goods were taken on board. Location where the goods were taken on board. Now here you can tell Delhi also, but the question is not cleared about it. So better go with D, not A. Okay, A may also be correct because the journey is starting at Delhi. So the goods might be taken on board in Delhi, but we are not sure as the question is not specific about it. So as per the place of supply provision, they have clearly given location where the goods were taken on board, and it is there as one of the option. Better to choose that, guys. Better to choose that. You can see here under place of supply provision, here this point it will come. Where goods are supplied on board a conveyance, location where such goods are taken on board. Clear? And if the question clearly specify the goods were taken on board at Delhi, then the answer will be straight away Delhi. The answer would be straight away Delhi. Yeah, fine, we'll move it. As per rule 32 subrule 2 clause B of CGST, clause B, please be careful, they are very clear with this, of CGST rule 2017, the option to determine value in relation to supply of foreign currency including money changing shall be deemed to be dash for an amount exceeding 10 lakh. So the gross amount of Indian rupees exchanged is more than 10 lakh. In that case, what will be the value of supply they are asking? This is as per the valuation rules. We have to take 5,500 plus 0.1% of gross amount of currency exchanged. This should be in excess of 10 lakh. In excess of 10 lakh, which they have missed there, or 60,000, lower of A or B, or higher of A or B. Answer is actually C, guys. Lower of A or B. I will just explain this along with the content of my study material. So rule 2, under the value of supply, valuation rules. See, first one, this is clause A. Question is not on this. They have clearly asked on clause B. Please be careful with this because you may wrongly apply clause A also. But at least by seeing the option, you will realize it. So when the gross amount of currency exchange is more than 10 lakh, what is the value of supply, guys? Come on, 5,500, which is nothing but up to 1 lakh, 1%, then 1 lakh to 10 lakh. See how that 5,500 also is calculated. I will just show. On 1 lakh, 1%, 1,000. Then from more than 1 lakh up to 10 lakh. So it is will come to 9 lakh, difference between 9 lakh and difference between 10 lakh and 1 lakh. What is the percentage? 0.5%. 0.5%. So it will be 4,500. So what will be the total? 5,500. So in excess of 10 lakh if you have exchanged, 5,500 plus whatever money you have exchanged, the 0.1% of that in excess of 10 lakh. Please observe, 5,500 plus 0.1% of gross amount of currency exchanged exceeding 10 lakh, which is missing in the question. They have not mentioned this. Okay, so question is somewhere incomplete, but still 60,000, whichever is lower. Guys, this is important. In my material, I have given by mistake higher anta. Please make this correction. It should be whichever is lower, which I have highlighted in red color. Please make this correction even in my study material. It should be whichever is lower, not higher. Okay. Now just let me take an example. Assume the gross amount of currency exchanged is 15 lakh. Sir, what will be the value of supply? So up to 1 lakh, 1,000. That is 1 lakh into 1%. Then more than 1 lakh up to 10 lakh. 9 lakh into 0.5%, which comes to 4,500. So 5,500. Then in excess of 10 lakh, 0.1%. So how much it comes to? 5 lakh. 5 lakh, na? That is more than 10 lakh, but up to 15 lakh. Okay. So 5 lakh into 0.1%, which comes to 500 rupees. So how much is the amount here? 6,000 or 60,000, whichever is lower. Whichever is lower. So what is the value of supply? 6,000. I just gave an example. So here they have not asked any calculation. It is simple, straightforward theory question like. So 5,500 or 0.1% of gross amount of currency exchange. This sentence is not complete. It should be in excess of 10 lakh or 60,000, whichever is lower. So the option is C, guys. The option is C. Okay, chalo, we'll move ahead. There was an increase in GST rate from 12 to 18%. Okay. From 12 to 18%, they have increased from 1st January 22. So previously it was 12%. Now it is 18%. Okay. Which of the following rate is applicable when service supplied and invoice raised after change? Okay. Service is supplied after the change. Okay. So service supplied. Service is supplied after the change, guys. And date of invoice is also falling after the change. Service supplied and invoice raised after the change in rate, but payment is received in November. So change date of payment is before the change. Come on. First, where is service falling? When the service is rendered after the change. Check which is falling on that side. That is date of invoice. So what will be the time of supply? Date of invoice, guys. What will be the time of supply? Date of invoice. So on the date of invoice, so the time of supply would be date of invoice. So what will be the rate applicable? On the time of supply, that is nothing but date of invoice. What was the rate? 18%. So what rate will be applicable here on that supply? 18%. So straight away, 12%, 18% is higher of 2. That is not the reason. 12% is not the reason. Then 18% since invoice is issued and supply was made after the change in effective rate of tax. So the answer is D, guys. This is as per section 14 of CGST Act. You can observe. So service was rendered after the change. In our question, service was given after the change, and you can observe even invoice was after the change, whereas payment was before the change. So what is falling on supply side? Invoice, date of invoice. So that will be the time of supply, and whatever is the rate on the date of supply or time of supply, that will be the rate applicable. Yes, chalo, we'll move ahead. Kabir wants to start a new business of trading of footwear in Jammu Kashmir. In order to expand his business, he will also make some supplies through e-commerce operator who will collect tax at source. Okay, he's supplying the goods through e-commerce operator who will collect tax at source, guys, as per section 52. In this respect, he has approached you to seek an advice on GST registration. Determine when he is required to get registered under GST. Should he get registered? Irrespective of the turnover, he has to get registered because he is covered under section 24. Listen, guys, here, if there is any supplier, okay, let me explain like this. If there is any supplier who is supplying any goods or services through electronic commerce operator, on which electronic commerce operator is supposed to collect TCS as per section 52, then supplier should get registered under section 24 mandatorily, irrespective of his turnover, and even electronic commerce operator also should get registration under section 24. As per section 24, he has to get registration irrespective of your turnover. There are 3 points connected to it. See, as per section 9 subsection 5, electronic commerce operator is supposed to pay tax on few supplies, not all the supplies, on few supplies which takes place through him, only for few services, specified service. So if electronic commerce operator is supposed to pay tax as per section 9 subsection 5, they have to mandatorily get registered. Then for any supply which takes place through electronic commerce operator, on which electronic commerce operator is supposed to collect TCS as per section 52, see 9.5 as well as section 52 will not be applicable on the same transaction simultaneously. It is on two different transactions. Means for any supply, if 9.5 is applicable, 52 will not be applicable. It's like that. Okay. So for any supply through electronic commerce operator on which electronic commerce operator will not pay tax as per section 9.5, then they have to collect TCS as per section 52. In that case, for them, registration is mandatory. And they are also telling whenever the supplier supply goods or services through electronic commerce operator, on which electronic commerce operator is supposed to collect TCS as per section 52, then supplier, irrespective of his turnover, he has to get registered. He has to get registered. So what is the answer here? A, required to get registered when the turnover reaches threshold limit. No, wrong. Required to get registered when the turnover reaches the threshold limit of 10 lakh. Wrong. Required to get registered when the turnover reaches the threshold limit. Wrong. D, required to get registered mandatorily irrespective of the turnover limit, as he will be making supplies through electronic e-commerce platform. This is as per section 24, guys. You can observe in section 24, which is this point. Yeah, here 9th. Person who supply goods or services or both other than supply specified in section 9.5, because when 9.5 means electronic commerce operator will pay tax, he will take registration, not the supplier, through such electronic commerce operator. Okay, so other than 9.5, whatever you are supplying through electronic commerce operator who is required to collect tax at source under section 52, who should get registered? Person, who is nothing but the supplier here. And also you can see 10th point, every electronic commerce operator who is required to collect tax at source under section 52, they should also get registered. Both persons, they are covering it. Clear? Yes. And also whenever electronic commerce operator is paying tax as per section 9.5 on a specified service, only 3 services are covered there, then they should get registered there also. So in simple, if I tell, electronic commerce operator should always get registered. Okay, chalo. 65th, a dealer sends some goods to another dealer for sale on approval basis. In absence of any confirmation, even after 6 months, it will be treated as what? Deemed supply. Why, sir? Because the time of supply provisions clearly tell. So time of supply provisions give connection to what? Due date to issue invoice. What is the due date to issue invoice when goods are sent on sale or approval basis? Is actual sale or within 6 months from the date the goods are sent, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier. So I will just show that. Yeah. Time of supply provision is connected to due date to issue invoice for goods. What is the time of supply means? The actual date of issue of invoice or due date of issue of invoice. You can see your last point, where the goods are supplied on approval for sale or return basis, when the invoice has to be issued on or before the time of supply, means actual supply has taken place, or 6 months from the date of removal of goods, whichever is earlier. Means what is the maximum time they are giving for the recipient here to approve or reject the goods? 6 months. Even though supplier would have given 1 year time to the recipient, but as per the law, supplier has to issue invoice at the end of 6 months. At the end of 6 months. So at the end of 6 months, assume the recipient is neither accepted the goods nor rejected the goods, and still he has a time. Still, for the supplier, it is deemed to be supplied. It is deemed to be supplied, guys. So deemed supply of goods is the answer. Yeah. Next, as per section 15 subsection 2, which talks about value of supply inclusions of CGST Act 2017, interest on late fee or penalty for delayed payment of any consideration for any supply shall be included if the amount exceeds 50,000. No. Shall be included in the value of taxable supply only if the same is recovered from the recipient by the supplier. Means obviously supplier is charging this to the recipient. So recipient has to pay this. So will it be included in the value of supply when supplier is separately charging it and collecting it from the recipient? Definitely. So this is the answer. Let us see the other options also. Shall always be excluded? No. From the value of the taxable supply, since it is considered for delay in payment and not a consideration for supply of goods or services? No. Shall always be included in the value of taxable supply? No. This is not the complete answer. Why? Because it will be included only if supplier is charging to the recipient and collecting it. Okay. And what will be the time of supply for all these additions, that is interest, late fee or penalty? The date on which that addition is received, as per subsection 6, guys. Yeah, subsection 6 of what? Section 12 for goods and 13 for services in CGST Act. Yeah, as per section 24, which talks about mandatory registration or compulsory registration of CGST Act 2017, which out of the following statement is true for casual taxable person. Is true what they're asking. Registration required only for supply of services, not for goods. No, it is for both. Registration required only for supply of goods, not for services if turnover exceeds threshold limit. No, because for them threshold limit is not at all applicable. Registration not mandatory but may opt voluntarily. This is also not wrong. This is also not true. Registration is mandatory. For casual taxable person and non-resident taxable person, registration is mandatory, guys. I have mentioned it here also, 24. You can see casual taxable person. Okay, but they are told if they are supplying some handicraft goods and all, yes, turnover limit will be applicable. Exemption is given as per section 23. But here they have not mentioned anything about handicraft goods and all. So for them, registration is mandatory until and unless they supply handicraft goods. Yeah. HP Limited is engaged in the manufacture of taxable goods. Compute the ITC available for the month of October 2021 from the following particulars. Input A 2,30,000, out of which one invoice on which GST payable was 60,000 is missing. Can I claim? No. As per section 16 subsection 2, invoice should be there with the recipient to claim input tax credit. So you can claim 230 minus 60 only for 1,70,000 here. 1,70,000. For 60,000, if you can find the invoice later, you can claim it later. Then input B 75,000, in which inputs are received in 5 installment. Second installment is received in October. See, when the goods are received in installment, as per the proviso to section 16.2, it clearly tells only when you receive the last installment, you can claim the entire ITC. Entire ITC. So here proportionate ITC is not allowed. So can I claim this ITC in October? No. So how much ITC I can claim? HP Limited can claim only 1,70,000. Only 1,70,000. So this is with respect to section 16.2. You can see your invoice should be there, is means the recipient should be in the possession of invoice, and also they have given proviso to section 16 subsection 2, provided that where the goods against an invoice are received in lots or installment, the registered person shall be entitled to take credit upon receipt of last lot or last installment. That is entire ITC you can claim. Okay. Yes. But here till October only second lot was received. So can I claim proportionate ITC? No, that is not allowed. Yeah, 69. As per section 17.5, that is which talks about blocked credit, ITC of motor vehicle is allowed for following. Vehicle used for transportation of goods, is it allowed? Yes, it is not blocked. Vehicle used for transportation of passenger having seating capacity of 15%. Yes. See, if it is not more than 13, it is not allowed for transportation of persons. But here it is 15. Please be careful. Vehicle used for taxable supply of imparting training on driving. Yes, even this is allowed. So what is the answer? All three, which is C. Which is C. This as per section 17.5, guys. We will just have a look on that. You can see input tax credit only with respect to motor vehicle I have taken. For transportation of persons, if the seating capacity is not more than 13 persons, not more than 13 means less than or equal to 13. Whereas in the question they have given 15 persons. So is it allowed? Yes, sir. Then they are told for transportation of goods. Is it allowed? Yes, because only what is blocked here is for transportation of persons. Then one more option is they are told imparting training on driving such motor vehicle. Is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed. It is not blocked. Because for these three things, ITC is allowed. ITC is allowed if it is used for this three purpose. And moreover, you can see here they are given transportation of passengers. If you are using the vehicle, motor vehicle for transportation of passengers, irrespective of the seating capacity, you can claim credit. You can claim credit. Only if it is used for the transportation of person other than the passengers, then the seating capacity will matter. Okay. 70th. Which one of the following is not a condition as per section 16.2 of CGST Act to avail input tax credit? We just now saw. The recipient has a possession of tax invoice issued by supplier. This is one of the condition. Goods or services actually consumed by the recipient? No. This condition is not there. It should be received by the recipient but not consumed and all. There is no condition. Filing of valid return by the supplier, that is supplier has to file his GSTR 1, then whatever details he is given in GSTR 1 will auto populate to the recipient in his GSTR 2A, even that condition is there. Then supplier pays the tax to the government. Only then the recipient can claim credit. So A, C and D is there in 16.2, whereas B is not there. Goods should be actually received, but here they have given consumed and the consumption condition is not there. Okay. 71st, as per rule 36.4 of CGST rules 2017, the input tax credit in respect of invoice or debit notes, the details of which has not been uploaded by the supplier in his GSTR 1 and not reflected in GSTR 2A of the recipient shall not exceed -% of eligible credit available in respect of uploaded invoices. See guys, this provision is not there as on today, means it is not applicable for June 2023 exams or onwards. So this question is not relevant for you. Previously it was 5% was there. Okay. Previously first actually it was 20, then they reduced it to 10, then they brought it to 5. But you guys need not worry about this question, because as per the relevant provisions applicable for your exams, if the details of outward supply is not given by supplier in his GSTR 1 or invoice furnishing facility, then it will not appear in GSTR 2A of the recipient, and hence recipient cannot claim any credit, not even 5%, 10%. He cannot claim any credit. This is as per the new provision. They have removed 36.4 now. So where is 16.2? Yes. So in 16.2 you can observe now, we have covered in our regular class. They have added new condition. What is it? Details of invoice or debit note referred to in clause A has been furnished by the supplier in the statement of outward supply, that is GSTR 1 or invoice furnishing facility, and such details have been communicated to the recipient of such invoice or debit note in the manner specified in section 37. I have also given a note. ITC can now be taken only for those invoices or debit note whose details are reflected in form GSTR 2A or 2B. Both are like one and the same with small differences. Only when the respective suppliers, vendors have filed the details of such invoice in form GSTR 1 or using invoice furnishing facility. So if the same question comes for you in your exam, it will be 0%. Means nothing can be claimed as credit until and unless the supplier give the details in his GSTR 1, guys. Clear? So 71 is not a relevant question for your exams. 72. Determine the amount of input tax credit admissible to PQR Limited in respect of the following goods procured by it in the month of January 2022. Okay. Goods used in the construction of an additional floor of office building. See, this is not allowed. It is specifically blocked under section 17.5, guys. If any goods is purchased for the purpose of construction, goods or services purchased for the purpose of construction of an office building or on your own account, credit is blocked. But for plant and machinery, it is allowed. Okay. So obviously when it is an office building, you will capitalize it. When it is capitalized, you cannot claim the input tax credit on the same. So it is blocked. Then packing material used in factory, can I claim? Yes. Provided other conditions I have satisfied. Then goods destroyed due to natural calamities, even this is blocked. Because there is no outward supply. When there is no outward supply, on inward supply, you cannot claim input tax credit. Even this is one of the point under section 17.5. So how much credit they can claim is only 8,000. Only 8,000. Next, 73rd. Input tax credit as credited in electronic credit ledger can be utilized for payment of interest, payment of late fee, payment of taxes, payment of interest and payment of late fee both. See, whatever input tax credit is there or available in electronic credit ledger, it can be used only to pay output tax. Output tax means the tax on your outward supply. Can I use input tax credit to pay interest, late fee, penalty and all? No. To pay interest, late fee, penalty, you have to do that payment through electronic cash ledger itself. Clear? Agree? Yes, sir. Then 74. X of Jaipur registered dealer purchased goods from Y of Kota unregistered dealer for 10,000. Okay, supplier is unregistered. Please be careful. When supplier is unregistered, will supplier be liable to pay GST? No, sir. So in that case, will he collect any tax from the recipient? No, sir. And see, please be careful. When the supply is taking from an unregistered person to registered person, RCM is applicable only for few selected goods. Not for all the goods, only for few selected goods. That too, some construction related goods like cement and all. He sold the same goods to Z of Kota, registered dealer, at a profit margin of 20% on purchase cost. So what is the purchase cost for him? 10 lakh. On that 20% he is adding, so which comes to 12 lakh. Okay, so his selling price is 12 lakh. GST rate on such goods is 12%. Compute the GST payable by X. So on 12 lakh, 12% comes to 1,44,000. So it is within the state. So it will be 6% CGST, 6% SGST. So it will be 72,000 CGST, 72,000 SGST. As he has not paid any tax on his inward supply, he will not be claiming credit. So entire amount he has to pay as GST. GST payable by X would be 6% CGST, 6% SGST on 12 lakh, which is his value of supply. Okay. 75th, the time limit beyond which if input sent for a job work is not returned will be treated as supply in CGST Act. See, it is an input they are talking about. So for input, what is the time limit? 1 year. Whereas for capital goods, 3 years it is. Yeah. See, when the principal send the goods to the job worker, it is not a supply, but he can claim the credit. But if the goods are not taken back within 1 year, then it will be deemed supply, guys. Yeah. As per section 24 of CGST Act, how many questions on 24? Which out of the following is not liable for registration under GST? Means which of the following items are not, or person is not covered under mandatory registration? They are asking. Non-resident person making taxable supply, they are covered actually. Then casual taxable person, they are also covered. An agriculturist selling product out of cultivation of land, actually they have been given exemption under section 23. An agriculturist selling product out of the cultivation of land is not liable to get registered irrespective of their turnover, as they are covered under section 23. Then dealer engaged in interstate supply. A, B and D are actually covered under section 24, whereas C is not covered under 24, guys. So what they are covered asked is, who is not liable under section 24? Yeah. 77. A dealer who is resident of Manipur, one of the special state, as a business place both at Manipur and Himachal Pradesh. See, is having a business in two different states. One is Manipur, one is Himachal Pradesh. Whereas Manipur is a special state. His taxable supply of goods in the state of Manipur is 12 lakh and in the state of Himachal Pradesh is 6 lakh. From where he has to take GST registration. See, guys, with respect to MMNT, short form. Okay, one of the state is Manipur. If you are supplying goods from Manipur or any of the special state, what is the turnover limit applicable for you? 10 lakh. And even that 40 lakh extended limit also is not applicable for you. Because 40 lakh extended limit for exclusive supplier of goods is not applicable for 10 states. Out of the 10 state, one of the state is Manipur. So what is the threshold limit for you applicable? 10 lakh. So all India basis, not only for Manipur. So throughout India, your threshold limit, if it crosses 10 lakh, you have to get registered. Where? In all the states, wherever you are doing the business. So here, his turnover is 12 plus 6. So 12 plus 6 is how much? 18. So did it cross 10 lakh? Yes. Should he take registration? Yes. Where? Not only in Manipur, in both the states. That is registration required in both the states, that is Manipur and Himachal Pradesh. Please be careful. Sir, is he engaged in interstate supply of goods? No. See, in both the states, he is supplying, assume, he is supplying the goods within the state. So, he is not covered under 24. But still, here, the threshold limit applicable for him, as he is engaged in supplying the goods in one of the special state, the threshold limit applicable for him will be 10 lakh. Agree? Yes. So, about this threshold limit, we have discussed in detail in our regular class also, guys. So, he will fall in this category. So threshold limit applicable for him, he will be 10 lakh. So if his aggregate turnover on all India basis, if it crosses 10 lakh, he has to get registered in every state. Okay. Then as per rule 21 of CGST rules 2017, the proper officer may cancel the registration of a person who has taken voluntary registration under section 25(3). if he has not commenced the business within 6 months from the date of registration. 6 months from the date of registration. This rule 21 will come under section 29 subsection 2. which talks about cancellation of registration. Registration can be cancelled in two scenarios. That is when the registered person he himself has applied for cancellation, that is as per section 29 subsection 1, or the proper officer on his own will, because the registered person has violated some provisions of GST law, then the proper officer can give a notice, and after receiving the reply he will have all the right to cancel the registration of a person. So this is a part of 29 subsection 2. So in 29 subsection 2 you can see this point D. Any person who has taken voluntary registration has not commenced the business within 6 months from the date of registration. Yes. Just a second, guys. Okay, let us continue. 79th. In case of taxable supply of services by NBFC company, invoice shall be issued. NBFC company, one of the special supplier, shall be issued within a period of how many days? 45 days. Whereas for others, 30 days, service suppliers. Whereas for NBFC banking and all, it is 45 days, guys. Oh, then dynamic quick response code is applicable to supplier who issue invoice to an unregistered person exceeding 500 crore. QR code should be a part of invoice issued with respect to B2C supply, that is from business to unregistered recipients. Yeah, 81st. Rajendra is registered dealer under GST, supplied the exempted goods, okay, to his customer within state. In this case, he shall issue not tax invoice because he cannot collect tax from the customer's bill of supply. He will issue a document called bill of supply. Then coming to 82nd, annual return of GSTR 9 under section 54 of CGST Act 2017 shall be filed by whom? Every registered person having annual turnover, registered person having annual turnover of 2 crore or more, registered person having annual turnover of 2 crore or more. See, all these are not a part of law, but in few years they are giving some exemptions with respect by way of notification and all. But you guys are expected to know what is there in the law. If they give any extension, if they give any exemption with respect to particular year and all, you guys are not expected to know that for academic purpose. So for you, what is the answer? Every registered person. Means actually whoever is filing GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B monthly, in addition to 1 and 3B, they should also file GSTR 9. Actually, written topic is not covered for you in your syllabus in detail. Even in your institute study material, only one page is there. Yeah, but still they have given this question, not an issue. I have also covered this. GSTR 1 and 3B, whoever will file, they have to file GSTR 9 within 31st December of next financial year, guys. So every registered person, no turnover limit and all is applicable. Yeah, and we can see, I guess, for this question, what is the question number for this? 82. 82. They have given like this star. What is that star? We will see 82. None of the options are appropriate. Same option is written in C and D. That's fine. Due to typing error. Notification number 31/2021. Central Tax, New Delhi, the 30th July 2021 exempts the registered person whose aggregate turnover in the financial year 2021 is up to 2 crore from filing annual return for the said financial year. That is for 2021, they gave some exemption. See, all this is not a part of CGST law. They gave it through by way of notification. So even the due dates actually will be keep on extending, sometimes due to COVID, due to some other reasons, due to glitch in the website. They will extend the due dates. Are you guys expected to know that for the exam purpose? No, because whatever is the standard due dates which is given in the law, that is what they can expect you to remember. So actually this is not relevant. So the answer for me, as per me, should be A, guys, here. A, straightforward. Okay. The transporter starts the movement of goods on 2nd March, for destination which is 600 kilometers from the place of dispatch. The e-way bill is generated is valid till. See, the validity of e-way bill depends on the goods, so the vehicle, whether it is dimensional cargo or over dimensional cargo. But have they mentioned anything in the question? No, sir. In that case, what do you assume? Dimensional cargo. Assume just it is a dimensional cargo. In that case, For every 200 kilometers, the validity is 1 day, guys. For every 200 kilometers, the validity is 1 day. So what is the distance here? 600 kilometers. So divide 600 by 200. How much you will get? Exactly 3 days. Even if you get decimals, for example, assume guys, they are given 625 kilometer. So you would have got 625 divided by 200. You will get 3.125. So what should you do? Consider 4 days. Consider 4 days. But here exactly 3 days you will get. Exactly 3 days you will get. So when did you start the movement of goods? 2nd March. So 3 days from 2nd March, including 2nd March. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So the validity will end on what day? 4th March. Okay, it is already started on 2nd March. Please be careful. The movement of goods is already started on 2nd March. So even 2nd March should be considered. Okay. Then, sir, what if I assume it to be as over-dimensional cargo? Then for every 20 kilometer, 1 day. So you do 600 divided by 20 kilometer, you will get 30 days. So 2nd March, including 2nd March, it is 30 days. Is none any option given there? Is April? No. So that's why it will not be the correct answer. So better to assume. So as per the options you go. Okay. So in the question they are not given whether the cargo is dimensional or over dimensional. But as per the options given, everything is in March. So it's better to assume as dimensional cargo, guys. Which out of the following is not the type of ledger prescribed by the government under CGST Act 2017? Electronic payment ledger. Actually, there is nothing called payment ledger. Cash ledger is there, liability ledger is there, credit ledger is there. So there is nothing called payment ledger. Easy goal. Aram se 1 marks, guys. 85th. A dealer has an SGST credit of 4 lakh in his ITC ledger for the month of December 2021, and the same month he has CGST output liability. See, credit he has SGST, whereas CGST liability is having 3 lakh. What an amount should be deposited by that dealer to his electronic cash ledger maintained in GST portal to file a valid return? See, now CGST credit cannot be utilized to pay. SGST credit cannot be utilized to pay CGST liability. Agree. So now, how much liability has CGST? 3 lakh. How can he pay it? He has to pay it through electronic cash ledger only, because whatever credit he is having is SGST credit which he cannot utilize. So entire 3 lakh he has to deposit into cash ledger and make the payment, guys. 86th. During the month of June, Tata Limited sold goods to Bata Limited for 4,40,000 and charged GST 18%. Okay. However, owing to some defect in the goods, Bata Limited returned some of the goods by issuing debit note of 27,000 plus GST in the same month. Okay. So out of 4,40,000, 27,000 worth of goods is returned back in the same month. Tata Limited records the return of goods by issuing a credit note of 27,000 plus GST in the same month. Everything happened in the same month. Okay. Goods were sold for 4,40,000. Out of that, 27,000 worth of goods were returned by the customer. He issued debit note and the seller should issue credit note. Both has happened. In this situation, GST liability of Tata Limited for the month of June, which is the year, they are not given the year, no, June will be how much? See, their sales is 4,40,000. Should we consider full 4,40,000? No, because as the return is in the same month, you net off. Then on this, they have to pay 18%. They have to pay 18%. That is the supplier. So 4,40,000 minus 27,000 into 18%. They have to pay 74,340. 74,340. Please be careful, because the return has happened in the same month. If the return has happened somewhere in July or August, so credit note is also issued in the future. In that case, in June, Tata Limited would have paid GST on 4,40,000 and later they would have claimed the credit of whatever excess they have paid on 27,000. Clear? But here the return has happened in June itself. Even credit note is issued by Tata Limited in June itself. So can they adjust it against the value of supply? Yes. So on the remaining value only they will pay the GST, guys. Net of returns. Yeah. 87. The special audit report under section 66 of CGST Act 2017 is to be submitted to Assistant Commissioner normally within a period of how many days? 90 days. See, actually it is 90 days, which can be further extended for another 90 days. But have they given anything about extension in the question? No. So in that case, always consider the normal period, guys. Always consider the normal period. Here you can see special audit should be completed within a period of 90 days. But it can be extended for another 90 days. But as they have not mentioned anything about extension, don't consider the extension. Regularly, what is the time given? 90 days. Just consider that. Okay. Section 56 of CGST Act 2017 states that if any tax ordered to be refunded under Section 54 is not refunded within dash from the date of receipt, that is 60 days, from the date of receipt of application, interest at such rate not exceeding 6%. So 60 days and 6% shall be payable in respect of, okay, that is, yes, option B. This is as per Section 56. If refund is not given within time, you can observe, if it is not paid within 60 days, from the 61st day, 6% interest will be paid by the department to the registered person. Yeah, 89th. Karishma Limited has provided the following information for the month of September 2021. Intra-state taxable outward supply 12 lakh. Interstate exempt outward supply 4 lakh. Exempt, guys. Okay. Turnover of exported goods 6 lakh. Payment made for availing GTA services 2 lakh. GTA not paying tax at 12%. That means you are paying tax under RCM. You are paying tax under reverse charge mechanism. Okay. It is like that. Yeah. Payment made for availing, this is one of the service which is covered under RCM. So that is what the int they have given here. Actually, RCM is not a part of your syllabus. Yeah. Means which are the services on which RCM is applicable is not a part of your syllabus. Calculate the aggregate turnover. See, aggregate turnover definition is given in section 2.6. What and all will be included? Intrastate taxable outward supply? Yes, sir. Exempt outward supply? Yes, sir. Then turnover of exported goods? Yes, sir. Then inward supply on which tax is payable on RCM, will it be counted? No, it will be counted as supply aggregate turnover of supplier. For me, it is inward supply because aggregate turnover includes only outward supply. So is it a part of your aggregate turnover? No. So what will be your aggregate turnover? 12 plus 4 plus 6, it is 22 lakhs. 22 lakhs. This is as per the aggregate turnover definition, guys. You can see here. First point itself. Aggregate turnover means the aggregate value of taxable supplies excluding the value of inward supply on which tax is payable by a person on reverse charge basis. Why? It is very clear. Inward supply is not your aggregate turnover. Aggregate turnover means your sales, which is nothing but outward supply. Clear? So in simple, taxable outward supply. Okay. Then exempt supply, then export of goods. All these three will be included. Clear? And also interstate supply, but excludes the anything which is charged under GST. So here it is 22 lakh. What is the highest approved prescribed rate under UTGST Act? It is 20%. See, under IGST Act it is 40%, whereas CGST Act maximum 20%, SGST also 20%, UTGST also 20% maximum. Okay. Yes, that is the maximum rate which is given under the law. You cannot levy the tax more than that on any goods or services. Which of the following liability cannot be adjusted against input tax credit of UTGST? So against the credit of UTGST, which you cannot adjust? CGST. CGST credit cannot be adjusted against SGST or UTGST liability. Agree, na? So which of the following cannot be adjusted against ITC, input tax credit of UTGST? So CGST liability, can it be adjusted against UTGST or SGST credit? No, you cannot adjust it. So the answer is CGST. 92. The advance ruling authority shall comprise of one member from amongst the officers of central tax, then B, one member from amongst the officers of union territory tax to be appointed by the central government as the case may be, both A or B. Both A and B, then D, neither A nor B. So the answer is C, guys. So the answer is C here. Next, 93rd. As per section 7 of CGST Act 2017, the provisional compensation payable to a state shall be released at the end of every 2 months period. On provisional basis, it will be released at the end of 2 months. This will come under the GST Compensation to States Act, guys. So there I have given the summary overview of UTGST and IGST. So overview of few acts we have covered, okay, which includes GST Compensation to States Act. There under that we have given the summary of act. So you can see the 9th point there. The compensation shall be released at the end of every 2 months period on a provisional basis, and final adjustment shall be made after getting audited accounts of the year from the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Fine. 94th, GST Compensation to States Act 2017 is applicable to whole of India, that is whole of India excluding, so first option is whole of India excluding Jammu, no, whole of India excluding Jammu, no, whole of India, not whole of world. Not only GST Act, Compensation to States Act, every law under GST, whether it is CGST Act, IGST Act, or whatever SGST Acts and all, SGST Acts and all is applicable for the respective state, whereas whatever law is passed by the central government passed CGST Act, IGST Act and GST Compensation to States Act, which is applicable in entire India, guys. Yeah, the projected nominal growth rate of revenue subsumed for a state during the transition period shall be 14% per annum. This is to calculate the loss of revenue of a particular state, to decide how much has to be compensated by the central government to the respective state. Okay. Then the rates of basic customs duties are specified under Customs Tariff Act 1975. There are two schedules there. One schedule will give the import duty rate and another schedule will give the export duty rates. Yeah. FOB value of goods, that is freight on board, of goods is $12,000, sea freight $2,500, cost of insurance is $150, currency exchange rate is 75. Just add up everything. Here everything is given, insurance is given, freight is given. If not, we have to consider some rate, like if freight is not given, we have to take 20%, and if insurance is not given, we have to consider 1.125%, but here both are given, and the transportation is through sea, so there is no limit for freight. Okay, if it is by air, there is a maximum limit of 20%, but here no limit. So just add up everything, 12,000 plus 2,500 plus 150. You will get CIF, which is 14,650, which is in dollar. Convert that by applying the exchange rate 75. 10,98,750. So the answer is D. 10,98,750. And in case of import, we have to include cost including insurance and freight, which is 12,000 plus 2,500 plus 150, guys. Then 98, the date of determination for the rate of duty and tariff valuation of imported goods in case of goods entered for home consumption under section 46 of Customs Act 1962 is the date of presentation of bill of entry, no, date of entry inwards to the vessel, no, date of presentation of bill of entry or date of entry inwards to the vessel, whichever is earlier. Correct. Whichever is later, the date of presentation of bill of entry or date of entry inwards to the vessel, whichever is later, not whichever is earlier. So it is as per the provisions of section 15. You can observe your this one 15(1)(a), goods cleared for home consumption under section 46, rate prevailing on the date of presentation of bill of entry or date of entry inwards of the vessel or aircraft or vehicle through whichever mode you are getting the goods, whichever is later. But see, in the question they have given whichever is earlier also, so it might be confusing for you. Please remember the provision as it is. Then, which of the following is not a part of Rule 3 of Rules of Interpretation of First Schedule of Customs Tariff Act? So the options are Akin Rule, Specific over General, Essential Character Principle, Later the Better. So this is with respect to rule of interpretation with respect to the customs. The answer for this is Akin Rule. Akin Rule. Yeah. The last one. Javed imported computers for his office use and paid 4 lakh as import duty. The computers are re-exported after being used of 13 months. The amount of allowed duty drawback under the customs law is, see, this is one of the important thing. See, here, when the goods are imported and you are re-exporting it, If you are re-exporting it without using it in India, then 90% of whatever import duty you have paid, you can claim it as duty drawback. But if you are using it in India and then exporting it, then the duty drawback will be allowed on sliding scale. That is, depending upon the usage, how much you have used in India, the duty drawback would be reduced, guys. The duty drawback would be reduced. So here I have given duty under duty drawback, section 74 you can observe. This is with respect to refund of import duty paid on the import of goods when the same goods are re-exported. Now, what is the duty drawback allowed is when the goods are not put to use after import, immediately as soon as the import is done, we are exporting it. In that case, whatever 98% of import duty you have paid, you can claim it as duty drawback. Okay. Sir, what if I have used it for few days or few months and then exported it? In case where the goods have been put into use after import, duty drawback is granted on a sliding scale basis depending upon the extent of use of goods. Means depending upon how long you have used, the duty drawback will be allowed to you. Okay, and this I have not given it in my material, but they have asked the question, I have mentioned it here. So please make a note of this, guys, for exams. So what is it, sir? And you guys are expected to remember both the period of use and depending upon the period of use, how much is the percentage of duty drawback. Okay, so up to 3 months if you have used it, 95% you can claim. Sir, more than 3 months but up to 6 months means 85% of the import duty you can claim it as duty drawback. Then more than 6 months up to 9 months, it is 75%. More than 9 months to 12 months, it is 70%. More than 12 months to 15 months, it is 65%. More than 15 months to 18 months, it is 60%, guys. And more than 18 months, it is nil, means you cannot claim any duty drawback. In this question, how long you are used? 13 months. So 13 months will fall. More than 12, but up to 15 months. So how much duty drawback you can claim? 65% of import duty paid. So how much import duty you has paid? 4 lakh into 65%, which comes to 2,60,000. 2,60,000. So this is all about the question paper discussion for December 2022 exams, guys. Chalo. And one more important thing, guys. See, exams are very new, so time left to you is very less. So please try to improve your productivity time. Put your maximum efforts. Definitely you will get positive results, guys. With this, I will close this recording. Thank you.